Good evening, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, seekers of truth, sojourners of truth, all my soul tribers out there. Beautiful blessings to you all. I send you all love bombs from my heart to yours. I'm here in my beautiful little garden. Get a little sneak peek of my garden. And speaking of gardens, a perfect time to talk about manifestation. So I'm going to explain to you right now the 7 days or 7 steps in the creative process of manifestation. So, as I do, I want us to imagine as we see this garden here, parallel this to the Garden of Eden story because it is parallel to the 7 days, that Genesis story that we know about. So, I know a lot of us know that in the beginning story. So, let's go to in the beginning. And as we think about it, think about you as the beginning. You were at first a divine idea. We all come from a divine idea. Anything that we create starts with a divine idea. So I want us to all go to in the beginning of everything, in the beginning of a new thought, a new project, a new feeling, just in the beginning. So, with that said, let's go into these 7 days. There are 7 steps and a 7 day process that I told you guys about in one of my previous lives that I condensed into 3. So now I'm giving you the full 7. So here is 7 steps of manifestation, 7 days of the creative process. And there is a metaphysical breakdown. So understand that each day has a metaphysical meaning. So I'm going to start with day 1. The importance of the manifestation of day 1 is illumination. The metaphysical meaning is illumination, which on that day we know it as there was a void. That once upon a time there was a void, and out of the void came there this light. And it wasn't the sunlight yet. So let's understand that this let there be light is the illumination of the divine idea. Think about those cartoons that have the light bulb on top. Light bulb, that's the divine idea coming where? Into your crown. So, by the way, I'm also paralleling this to the crown, to the chakras, from the crown going down. So, day 1 is our crown. That's illumination metaphysically. It is let there be light, where everything is coming from the void of the cosmos, the void of the ethers, from the place of nothingness, and bringing it into your crown, bringing it into your everything from the nothingness. So that is day 1. Everything starts with a divine idea. Day 2, which is step 2, is faith. And this is, we are on our third eye, of course, coming down. And this is where, in that part of the book, if you're paralleling it, it says the firmament separates from the waters. We are separating the firmament from the waters, remembering that the waters represent unlimited possibilities, and the firmament, which is the skies, represent unlimited potential. So you are now looking, and this is what faith does. It's looking beyond into anything unlimited. There should be no limitations. So coming from your illumination of divine idea, from the nothingness, you are coming into the light of everythingness, everything possible, everything potential. This is true faith. It should be no holds bars. And this is what you're, even as you're coming into this earth. I hope y'all can see this in the many folds that it represents as we are understanding this creative process. So this is what we are doing as co-creators with the Creator. As He has created us, so we create things as well. So that is day 2. Now day 3 is, that would be when we're on the throat, and that metaphysical meaning, this is step 3 in the creative process, which metaphysically represents imagination. And it is when in the Bible, in the book, it said that this is when land emerged. This is when land emerges and land is formed. How do we form things? We speak it into existence. The imagination comes from that form. Excuse the plane going over. But it comes from that form. We form things. When we speak it into existence. Sound is vibration. Through vibration is when we bring things into existence. So this is how we form. And this is coming from the third eye into this. So understand that you have imaged a nation because of what you have envisioned through your faith coming down into the throat. You have imaged your nation, and now you are ready to form things. So this is when something is formed. You're seeing the formation of it. You're seeing, oh, see two birds. It's like, yeah, she's right. Y'all know I listen to nature. So with that said, day 3 on the throat chakra. At the same time, this is imagination. We are bringing things into form. So now we move down to day 4, which we would be on our heart chakra. And that metaphysically in the creative process as a 4th step represents will and understanding, your perception, will and understanding, which on that day it says he created the sun, the moon, and the stars. Now here comes the sun and the moon and the stars. Not on day 1 when it's let there be light, but on day 4, here comes the sun, the moon, and the stars. Why? Because they give guidance. The greater light to guide the day, the lesser light to guide the night. Either way, and the stars are important because the celestials, all of that is a roadmap. The universe is your map within. It is your guidance within. It is your internal map for you to understand things. So we need that guidance. So step 4 in the creative process is very important that we have our what? Our will and our understanding. And this is also done, like I said, in the heart chakra, in love. So then day 5 on this manifestation creative process is discrimination, or some people look at it as discernment. Either way, you need to be able to discern to make a good discrimination. Discrimination is not a bad thing. It is all about having good judgment. And at this point, we're in the solar plexus, where that is also about discernment and good judgment. So on day 5, the 5th step would be metaphysically represents discrimination. In the book at this point is when it speaks of every bird unto its kind, the water, every fish unto its kind. And if you notice, it is likening everything unto its kind, because that is discerning. That is being able to discriminate metaphysically. All of these animals represent different aspects of yourself. So you are also being able to understand, what is this aspect of me? What is that aspect of me? These are the things that we are looking at on the 5th day. This is how we are discriminating and discerning what goes where. It's about compartmentalizing. Bear with me. Compartmentalizing within ourselves, within a project, if we're working on a project. And as so, it was done even in the creation of ourselves. It is also about compartmentalizing. So now day 6, this is where it all happens. Day 6 is step 5 in the creative process, which metaphysically means realization. This is the time of realization. This is where in the book it says, he has made mankind in our image. Male and female created he them both. And at this point, we're in our sacral chakra, which is also the chakra for creativity. All of these things are interconnected. So on that 6th day, this is where creation has really taken place on day 6. This is where man is now here. And what that means is you have come into a realization even within your consciousness, because that is your conscious and your subconscious mind. So it is a realization within your own consciousness that you are in the image and the likeness of the divine, which is the superconscious. So this is where it all comes together in the 6th step. And so it is with any project that you're working on, anything that you're creating. By the 6th step, you should have a realization of what it is you have worked on. It all comes together on day 6. And so you'll see, before I go into day 7, I want us to understand that within this process, you will see that it's on the 6 days we are working. We have our hands in it. We're doing all of our work in the 6 days. I want us to see that. And by day 6, we have a realization. We have a realization of our creation that has been made. Now, that brings me into day 7. Day 7, day of rest, metaphysically, in the creative process means rest. It is still just that, rest. And on this day, it tells you this is where God made everything he made and he rested. And what that means for us in our creative process is this is where we need to take our hands out of it. That's why y'all see me doing like this. Take your hands out of it, because you have worked everything up until the 6th day. You've had your hands in it doing what you're doing. And now, and when I say hands, I mean even in your mind. Get your mind out of it. Stop dibbling, dabbling. This is where we need to let go. Let go, and this is where the mystical, where our work meets the mystical, the mystique of God. And this is where the divine meets us right where we are. So we've done all our work up to this point, and it's time for us to rest in assurance, trusting the entire creative process and what we've been doing for the 6 steps up until the point where we can now let go and rest assured that the divine will match us there. This is how we are co-creators with the divine. We do our part and it matches us where we are on day 7. So, or step 7. And so this is where we're supposed to take some time to just rest back and be in the presence. So even if we are practicing this stuff throughout the week, when you get to your Sabbath, whatever day 7 is for you, that is when you are supposed to pull back from all the everyday things that you have been doing, the work, the shopping, the everything. And this is where you're just supposed to rest back and listen to spirit. Let God guide you through the day. Let the divine guide you through the day. And you just live in the presence and allow revelations and reflections to come to you. And so that is the 7-step process. And to conclude and close all of this out, why I'm saying it is, why I'm doing this particular video, is because it's important for us to understand, especially us light workers, to understand that in this time, as we are ushering the 5th density light, the 5D consciousness, and we are ushering in the new earth, we have to understand that as we are creators of this new earth, that we have our part to play in the manifestation thereof, in the manifestation of it. So we have to play our part, and we have to understand that we have to respect the creative process and intentionally, purposefully do the work of the creative process, because we are constantly bringing this in. And this is how we help to seal the light grid activation every time there's a manifestation opportunity, which, hint, hint, is the new moon. Hint, hint, to those who get it, get it. Every time there's a new moon, that is time and an opportunity for manifestation. So what should we be doing? Working on our manifestations every time. And that is what? 7 days. This is why I explained to you, we take 7 days. Whatever 7 days you're working on, take 7 days and work a creative process. Work your manifestation. And you should be working on whatever ideas are coming to you from the illumination. Allow the illumination to be bestowed upon you from the divine, and then allow it to work through you all the way down to the root, into the manifested ground. When you get from the crown to the root, remember the upper chakras are spiritual, the lower chakras are in the body. So even when you look at it like that, you're working from the ethers and bringing it on down, down into the ground, where it is to be rooted, where it is to be what? Manifested. All manifestations are in the earth. We manifest. We take from spirit and we manifest things to be tangible. From the intangible to the tangible. From the invisible to the visible. You guys get the point. So in order for us to do it, we are the conduits of energy which bring things into manifestation. So we must be doing this collectively, individually as well as collectively. Either way, you get the point. We should be doing it both ways, from the micro to the macro, and so on. So that is a 7-day process, and this is how it is important to our manifestation of the 5D consciousness. So it works if you work it. And with that, I send you all love and light. Each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one. You are love that lights the truth. So be that manifestation in you, through you, from you, as you. And so it is. Peace, love, and light. Get in your gardens.